Hi there folks, Greeno here. Where am I today? Well, I'm fairly bleary-eyed, it has to be said. We are just coming up for 8 o'clock in the morning and I am just outside of Milton Keynes, on the road between Milton Keynes and Towcester. Towcester being a fairly apt name for the kind of place I am. So where am I then? I am at a place called the Super Sausage Cafe. Now this apparently is a very, very popular cafe. Like I say, I'm here just before 8 o'clock in the morning and the car park's already half full. It's a place where bikers meet, not too far away from Silverstone here, of course, the big racetrack. And yeah, apparently they do a cracking breakfast, they use local produce, and it should be pretty good, I reckon. So let's get inside and see if it gets Greeno's green light, shall we? Come on. Well then folks, even though it's kind of early in the morning and autumn and not that warm, I'm sitting outside. The music inside is incredibly loud. Absolutely no way I could hide that from YouTube at all. So, I say inside, it's got a really kind of interesting vibe in there, apart from the loud music. Like kind of bench seating, proper old sort of cafe style seating in there. Nothing fancy about it whatsoever. There's a little hatch you go and order at. Menus up on the wall, as you've seen in the B-roll. And there's lots of little not paintings, pictures or whatever of motorcycling stuff around everywhere, all adorning every inch of every wall pretty much. I quite like it. It's got a very down-to-earth kind of vibe about it. So what I've ordered is the full Monty Breakfast. Now, if I pull up details of that on my phone, because I can't see the menu from it out here, apparently that's going to come with 2 eggs, 3 bacon, 2 Lincolnshire sausages, black pudding, mushrooms, I forgot to take the mushrooms off, so we'll be getting mushrooms, a fried slice, 2 hash browns, 2 toast, baked beans, tomatoes, and a mug of tea, which I have here already. This was poured for me. It's, I don't know if you can just about catch the colour of it there. Pretty much sort of builder's tea, which I appreciate, especially this early in the morning. Need something to liven me up a little bit. This is coming at £15.95. Now, if there's quality on there, I don't mind paying that for a good breakfast, especially if it's a big breakfast like this. But we'll see what it's like when it comes out. Hopefully, fingers crossed, this is going to set me up for the day. So I was just looking through their website while I'm waiting for the breakfast to be cooked, and it says here, our philosophy is simple. We carefully source the highest quality fresh produce, cook it properly, present it well, give you great value for money. And lastly, but by no means least, we like to look after our customers and give them a fast, friendly service. Sounds spot on to me, that, doesn't it? Good produce, cooked and presented well, and friendly service. Yes, thank you. Oh, magic. Thank you very much. Well, definitely can't argue with the fast, friendly service there, because it's not long at all since I ordered the breakfast, and it's already been brought out to me. So, have a little look at this. Looks cracking. Well, you guys, this does look like a cracking breakfast to me. So, what have we got on here? We've got the bacon here, which has been cooked on a griddle. They crisp the fat up quite nicely by the looks of it, like that. A couple of hash browns. The eggs look cooked very nicely. The yolks seem to be very, very runny just on first appearance there. A great chunk of black pudding, tinned tomatoes rather than fresh. I don't mind tinned tomatoes, so that's all right with me. A couple of Lincolnshire sausages. Like I say, hash browns, big pile of mushrooms. 2 slices of toast to go with it as well, and they've not scrimped with the butter either. 4 little packets of butter on there. So, I'm going to put a little bit of salt here onto the eggs and the tomatoes, just a touch. There we go. And we got some brown sauce here. Comes in little squeezy bottles, so who knows what brand it's going to be, but we'll get some of it onto the plate. Oh, don't squirt it all over your jeans, Greeno. There we go. Nice little squeezer. Brown sauce on there, that's what it's all about, isn't it? So, I reckon we should start with the egg, shouldn't we? Do you want to come in and take a closer look as I cut them open? Of course you do. So here's the eggs. As you can see, the yolks look nice and springy there, don't they? So I reckon they're just going to burst open everywhere. Luckily, they're on top of the fried bread. So if I cut that open there, that's just going to drain all over that fried bread. Look at that. That is beautiful, isn't it? The egg itself is nicely cooked and the yolk still nice and runny. Oh, yes. So we're going to start with some of that egg. I'll have the white first. Although, like I said, the yolk is pretty much running all over it. It's cooked just how I like it. No crispy bits around the edges. Nice and hot. Just with a little bit of salt on there. That is a really, really tasty egg. Controversially, we're going to go in for the hash brown next. Give that a little try, as we know. I'm not the biggest fan of hash browns, but I have had some good ones recently. So I'm starting to come round to the idea. I'll try it first on its own, and then we're going to use it to dip into that yolk. So it's just a bog standard catering hash brown. Kind of a bit like a McDonald's one, if you like. No real pronounced flavour of any onion or anything in there. It's just sort of oily mashed potato. So it's not one of the best ones out there, but as a vehicle for the yolk, it could be a good thing. Certainly improves things, putting the yolk on there. That is yummy. Is there anything better in the world than runny egg yolk? I'm not sure there is. So where are we going to go next? We go on to the sausage. Now these are Lincolnshire sausages. If I pick one up so you can see it, we've got a good coloration all around. It's obviously been, again, cooked on a griddle here, I think, rather than in a frying pan. It's certainly not been oven cooked or anything like that. First impressions, it might look a little dry inside, perhaps. But we'll give it a try. No, it's not. It's just solid and meaty. That is actually a very, very tasty sausage. The outside, where it's been cooked on that griddle, has got a snap to it. The inside, like I say, it looked a little dry, not very juicy, but it's just firm and meaty. Let's try it with a little bit of this brown sauce. Big fan of brown sauce on a breakfast. It works together well, but then sausage and brown sauce generally does, doesn't it? I like that. What are we going to try next? Let's go on to the little tin tomatoes here. So we've got like 3 or 4 bits of tomato. Dribble a bit down my chin there. Well, I say, I don't mind a tin tomato on a breakfast. I'd much rather have this than an undercooked proper tomato, that's for sure. And tin tomato's got like almost a metallic kind of taste to it, hasn't it? But it just kind of works. Yeah. That is also good, let me tell you. Right, next. Black pudding. Now I've got the end piece of the black pudding here, but look at the size of this chunk of it. It is huge. It's like a doorstop. So we'll cut it open and see how it's cooked inside. The outside, nice and crispy. The inside, yeah, still nice and soft in there. So again, try it as is, and then we'll get a little bit with some of the brown sauce on. It's quite a finely ground black pudding inside. You haven't got big lumps of fat in there. That has got a good flavour. Almost pate-like. A real depth and intensity. And the brown sauce, adding a little bit of sweetness, a little bit of tang. That is cracking. Okay, a couple more things that we haven't tried yet. Firstly, the bacon. So, big rashers here. Back bacon, 3 of them on the plate. I don't know if it's smoked or unsmoked yet. Let's find out. I say, because it's been cooked on a griddle, it's got nice sort of coloration all over it. It's unsmoked, which I think is preferable on a breakfast. I don't mind if I get smoked bacon. It's not the be-all and end-all, but I just think it works better with unsmoked. And this got nice crispy edges on the fat. Just adds to the flavour. Nice thick slices of bacon too. That's really good. I do like that. Beans. Again, nothing fancy about this. Just plonked on the plate. No ramekin. No gravy boat like I had in Ireland recently. And these are just good solid beans. I don't think they're Heinz or anything special in particular, but they're decent. They do taste a little bit like the beans you get in Tesco's with their own brand, which are perfectly acceptable to me, let me tell you. Right, what else have we got here? We have fried bread. And of course, as you know, from the start of this segment, this is now drenched in the egg yolk. Oh, yes, please. The fried slice is a real treat, especially if it's done well. And this has been done well. It really has. It's fried so that it's crispy on the outside, still a little bit soft on the inside. It's not overly oily, but it's still got that beautiful fried bread flavour. Oh yeah. Now, fried bread is not something you should eat often, is it? So when you do, you want it to be really good. It goes well with the egg, it goes well with the beans. That really is a treat. Really is a treat. Now, am I going to be a brave boy and try the mushrooms? I did see recently on a video, my buddy Dino had a little bit of a pop, saying I'm scared of mushrooms. I'm not scared of them, they're just horrible. But the smell of them's fine, the taste of them is fine. It's just the texture. We'll give it a go though. Here you go, Dino, see? I mean, as mushrooms go, they're not quite as squidgy and unpleasant as some. They've been cooked quite well. And so some of the liquid has been cooked out of them. I imagine if you're a big fan of mushrooms, you'll like them. Feel free to pop down and take them off me, because I won't be eating them. I must start remembering, when I see mushrooms on a menu, don't order them. Ask them to be taken off. Anyway, I've got to say, overall, I'm impressed with this breakfast. It's good, solid, relatively basic fare. And we've got a brew to go with it. Got to be a cup of tea with a cooked breakfast, hasn't it? And it's a good, strong cuppa. Yeah, I'm happy with that. Well, I'm going to crack on, butter myself up some toast and eat more of the breakfast, and then we'll discuss it all at the end. Just realised I hadn't tried the toast yet, so what I decided to do was to butter it up and stick a bit of bacon in there, make myself a little bacon toasted sandwich. Just plain white toast, a supermarket style loaf, but that's perfectly okay with a kind of old school cooked breakfast like this, isn't it? What do you do with your toast on a cooked breakfast? Make little sandwiches like this out of it? Do you put your fried egg on there, your beans, or just eat it on its own, maybe with some Marmite, some marmalade, some jam. I have to say, normally it just ends up on the plate with me because I've got the fried bread on there. It doesn't need to, does it? So I can make a little bacon sarnie. While I'm eating this breakfast, this place is just getting busier and busier and busier. Look at the car park. We're about 20 past 8 in the morning here. It's got to be at least 2/3, maybe 3/4 full, the car park of cars, and that's just the bit for the cars. There is actually a motorbike park around the side as well. And there's been plenty of bikers been coming in while I've been here too. Okay folks, so I have finished my breakfast. Still got some of the tea to drink. What do I make of the Super Sausage Cafe here just outside of Milton Keynes? Well, it's near a place called Potterspury, I think, in between Milton Keynes and Towcester. I've got to say, I like the vibe of the place. I think it's quite a quirky, interesting little place. Obviously, it's a great meeting place. Being on a main road, it's good for all the bikes and whatever to come and have bike meets, that kind of thing. And I think it's a decent little cafe. Everything done pretty well, to be honest with you. In terms of the food, I don't think it's bad value for money. $15.95 for that quite big breakfast with a free cuppa thrown in. I'd say, in terms of quality, let's go through it sort of item by item. My favourite items on there were the fried eggs, which are cooked exactly how I like them, perfect, and the fried bread, which was an absolute delight and a real treat. I'd say the sausages were decent, nice and meaty sausages. Were they super sausages though? Maybe not quite living up to the bill in there. The bacon was nice enough, unsmoked, cooked quite nicely on the griddle. The black pudding was interesting as well, a little bit of a finer grind on it, more of a sort of pâté kind of consistency and almost flavour. Decent beans, the mushrooms I guess are cooked okay if you like that kind of thing. Bog standard white toast, nothing special there. What else have we got? The tin tomatoes, perfectly fine as far as I'm concerned. But I've got to say, outside of the eggs and the fried bread, there's nothing that really excited me on the breakfast, nothing that made it sort of stand out from your average cafe kind of breakfast. And I definitely don't think, if they're going to call themselves Super Sausage, I think they ought to up their sausage game a little bit. If you look at that compared to sausages I had at places like the Udder Farm Shop or the Grazing Cow, where they were getting them from local farm shops, that's a different kettle of fish to this, certainly. So, what are we going to score this? And I say, I mean, it's a good solid breakfast without being exceptional in too many areas, but there's nothing bad about it in any areas either. I'm going to say 3.5. Yeah, 3.5 out of 5, I think, is probably about fair. So I'm going to finish up this. Does it get Greeno's green light? I mean, 3.5 is kind of borderline, isn't it, between green and amber? But I think it does just verge towards the green. I think we will give it Greeno's green light just about. I mean, it's touch and go. It's like a cigarette paper between amber and green, really. I've enjoyed it, certainly. But have I been blown away by it? Not especially, to be honest with you. But if you like a good traditional style English breakfast with nothing fancy on it, no ramekins, no sourdough toast, no little bits of herbs sprinkled all over your eggs or whatever, then this is a good place to come. Well then folks, if you've enjoyed this video looking at the Super Sausage Cafe in between Milton Keynes and Towcester on the A5, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, it does help with the channel. And if you like the breakfast videos, I've got a whole playlist of them you can dip into. I can't remember how many videos there are in there, but there's quite a few, that's for sure. So why not check that out? Anyway, where to next? You'll have to wait until the next video to find out, won't you? I'll see you then.